think he's going to be prepared for that, as we have spawning down in the bottom left, representing Team Liquid, the blue Protoss player. He is Kevin Harstem de Koning.
The King. And his opponent in the top right, representing the newly reformed Archangel Gaming, he is the red Zerg player from Sweden. It's SortOf.
And big shout out to Harstem's parents. He mentioned to me that they actually watch his games, and I've got something a little bit special. Welcome, Kevin's elders. And we're gonna try the second part later. But horrible Dutch. I am Dutch by heritage, but unfortunately I don't speak the language.
Bedankt.
Very guttural language, but it's awesome that they're supporting his.
I commentated in a StarCraft event in the Netherlands in Eindhoven. It was Uthermal's first ever offline tournament that he did, and that country is beautiful, dude. It's unreal. Like, Amsterdam is kind of a wild city and stands out as quite different, but Eindhoven was so beautiful. Okay, enough, into the game. We see pretty standard openings across the board here. It looks like Harstem will be going Nexus before Cybercore. Nothing too strange after scouting that there was a Hatchcast pool here from SortOf. SortOf forced to take his natural at his third. And Juggernaut, we've seen a lot of Queen walks, but I haven't seen a lot of it from SortOf, I must say.
Yeah, no, not as much as many other players are, liking to do that. He has always been a player that is more defensive in nature, but when he goes for whatever all-ins he's going to go for, they are almost always going to be textbook, so to speak, like by the book standard all-ins, similar to how Lambo kind of likes to play quote-unquote correctly. Yes. And going to be optimized is I guess a good way of putting it.
Yeah, I'd say both of these players are going to play like proper pristine StarCraft. They've both been doing this a long time. They're both, I would certainly say, perfectionists in their craft. They will look to be very, very optimal. This is what I expect from Harstem. A lot of Stargate play. I do think he's going to be looking for a mid to late game oriented comp, and I could see 3 relatively long maps here, because Harstem is good with big armies. He's good at dealing with the constant pressure from a Zerg, and he's good if he can get up into the latter stages of a game. I feel like he's more vulnerable possibly in the earlier stages of a game, but they're both so good all-round mechanical players that I think this is a very interesting fight that we're going to have on our hands.
Yeah, and we're actually seeing SortOf taking all 3 drones off gas, which is a little bit interesting. I would even take it one step further as saying Harstem is one of the best players at never being caught out of position, always having units to scout important areas and see where things are. So you have to beat him mechanically. That is basically the only way to do it. Now in PvP things get a little weird, but in a matchup like PvT and to a lesser extent PvZ, you gotta beat him straight up, I think.
Void Ray into Oracle coming out here. Of course, seeing that Stargate powered up, you can't tell if you're sort of exactly what it is. It could be a second Void Ray. And the other thing is he hasn't been able to see any gases on the natural, so he doesn't know if there is a second Stargate soon to be coming down, sort of having to play a little bit defensively here. I imagine we will see him go up to probably 6-7 queens in order to make sure he doesn't take massive damage. But this is Void Ray killing Overlord into a third base. Very standard, as expected, safe build from Harstem. With that Void Ray out early, you're pretty safe to a lot of things. Robo coming down here. This is interesting, seeing a Robo kind of early. Might just be to get a quick observer. I can't see a whole bunch of wildness coming out of the back of this. What are you thinking right now, Steadfast?
I actually think that this is going to be for extremely quick disruptors against what... Okay, I think that Harstem, upon seeing this base where it is, he sees that it's very far forward. Oh, nice snipe on that creep cover. And he is thinking that this is going to be a Queen Walk build. And against a Queen Walk build, fast robo-fast disruptor, extremely strong. And Harstem, I think... going for the snipe on that creep tumor is a great decision because it allows him to slow down this potential push, if that is what's going to happen.
Yeah, a couple of adepts coming out. Robotics Bay does go down, and there we go. This is why we pay Steadfast the big bucks to tell me things that I should know about the race I play. Spores coming down here. Roach Warren coming down for SortOf as well. He's at 56 drones, going up into his 60s. has been relatively unharassed. And in terms of the compositions right now, 2 oracles up at the north side, jumping into the natural, looking like they're going to find very little revelation here, catching everything, but they do live with all of their hit points, which is important. And we also have the queens are going to be pushing back Harstem, sort of advanced forces here. The Void Rain 3 Adepts are not able to take that fight. Does look like, yep, the Shade will cancel. And Harstem going to feel pretty content to just go up into his Disruptor build, as you said. Nice.
Yeah, no, this is a scenario where, you know, like, you're definitely kind of hoping they queen walk you, because then you just basically win. Queens off creep have a horrendous time dealing with disruptors. And we're not seeing that out of SortOf. SortOf is playing a macro game. He's droning up quite high. The one nice thing of this, as you mentioned, is that early observer allows him to really clear out creep very, very quickly. So a nice little byproduct of this as well. Nice, nice little Oracle harass here. Still hasn't taken, I don't think, any hull damage. He picks off 3 additional drones right there. That's just nice little chip damage.
Yep, and carry on.
Oh, sorry, go on.
And I was going to say as well that the Oracles, of course, they remain massively useful in terms of utility. The revelations for the push that is coming could end up being key, as long as they can keep that energy. Maybe they drop a Stasis Ward, catch a couple of Queens. Anything to sort of support this push is going to be very appreciated, because Harstem is looking like he is going to be the aggressor. But SortOf does have this Spire already 3/4 of the way completed. Doesn't have a lot of... Actually, does have quite a bit of gas, more than I thought. I was misreading. This is nice. This is really nice. These Oracles are now finally taking a bit of hull damage, but still very, very strong. Ooh, gonna see this army as well. See the positioning here. Harstem is in a good spot this game, but actually it does look like he's not going to commit to a big attack just yet. Maybe waiting for these gateways to finish. Maybe he'll push out around now. But yeah, he's going to take a fourth actually.
Yeah, he is. So, looks like man, did he just scout the Spire? He did not, but he has a read that this might be Mutas. He is starting up a Phoenix. I was going to say, if he goes across the map with Charge Lot Archon, he can potentially hit a timing against these Mutas, but that is not what he's going to be going for. He is getting that 4th base. +2 on the way. Charge Archon, very, very good against Mutas. If you hit while the Mutas are still in small numbers and before they've come across the map. But if the Mutas get across the map unscouted, then the Charge Lot Archon, you know, you're wanting to initiate the base trade. You don't want to have a base trade initiated on you.
Yeah. Baneling Nest coming down, bunch of Roach Ravager coming in as well. The Phoenixes, though, as we said already in production, there is a battery here, and there are not enough Mutas quite, unless their shots are all marred up. There we go. To start getting the kills, we are going to see the Phoenixes enter the fray, though, and this isn't bad for Harstem. As long as he doesn't lose these Phoenixes, he can pick and prod and poke away at these Mutalisks all day long. He's losing a lot of workers for it, but I'm curious, Steadfast, is it worth throwing away a bunch of Mutas like this?
Since every single one of them will go down to these Phoenix, and it's only single Stargate Phoenix, I think Harstem's okay with this. 12 probes is a lot of workers, but it's not like he was on like 60 probes and now he's on 48. No. He was on like 80 and now he's on 73. And he's on that 4 Nexus that I was talking about where you could rebuild them so quickly. But here comes the main attack. Oh man, this is a little bit funky right here. Very unfortunate move, Command, and now the Disruptors are going to find some good shots. And that's Harstem taking an amazing fight against SortOf, who just kind of was wandering forward.
Yeah.
That was a huge mistake from SortOf. Harstem didn't lose anything. He lost 1 Zealot, but it was to his own Disruptor shot. Yeah. And he killed off so much.
That's insane. Resources lost 2,200 to 725. Finally, a Zealot goes down to kind of even it up a little bit. We do have a run by down here going towards the natural. Does Harstem have his wall complete? No. Oh, that's so frustrating. And also the carriers, the Golden Armada is shown, and that may be, an opportunity. We instantly see Corruptors, of course, on the way. And this is just so annoying right now to deal with. Cannons and shield batteries clean this up with a few Zealots eventually. Meanwhile, a fight in the middle of the map. Harstem gonna get chased back. Oh my god, the speedy charge Zealots literally teleporting on top of their opponents.
Yeah, that was very, very... That's always funny to see. Oh, the Disruptors. Okay, we'll get caught a little bit, but a nice lift on a couple of these Ravagers to take them out. The Lings... Okay. Sorry?
The Banelings in the main scared me. But they have been
I saw something on the minimap, and I was like, that's got to be just like... got to be just an Overlord or something, right? No, those were Banes. And Harstem does take them out, does avoid taking any critical damage. SortOf, very interesting expansion pattern, expanding towards his opponent. We are seeing these Phoenixes kind of chasing Corruptors, which is a little bit funny.
or Banelings right now. They're going to be able to get a lot of these Zealots. The Zealots kind of charging into their own doom, but it does stop this run by only 2 probes going down. I mean, there is like 10 probes with 1 hit point at this point. Very, very, very intimidating. But now the carriers are out. This Golden Armada begins to build, and this is where we said Harstem is so strong in this game. He's got +1 air weapons, +2 air weapons already on the way. There are Corruptors on the way, sure, but there's already a Void Ray out. There's going to be very soon free carriers. There's a lot of Archons underneath as well, like a really chunky amount that's going to be able to zone off all of these Corruptors.
Yeah, I love these stasis wards, by the way, helping to protect the flank. You talked about utility. This is amazing utility right here, because SortOf, he's going to try and come in for the flank, but it gets partially blocked. Huge block right there. And now the force field's at the front. The Archons taking everything.
Yeah.
Banelings, well, they're not going to do the best against Archons, that is for sure. There are a lot of Corruptors coming in. One of the carriers will get down, taken out, but this is just so much from Harstem, and so much of SortOf's army could not even fight. And, well, we will see a couple of very awkward Archons right there getting taken out, but the 5th base will go down.
Yeah, now Harstem with a supply lead behind this is getting more and more carriers. Only 2 on the field right now as 1 was reset, but I mean, at what cost? If you look at resources lost, Harstem killed 10k to 5k. He killed 43 roaches in that engagement, and just like that, GG, Harstem takes map 1.
My God, he is showing up to play. I am so happy to see this. He is looking very, very dialed in this game, number 1.
Yeah. I agree with you. That was it was pretty darn good beginning to end. He dealt with the small things like the Baneling run by. Those were SortOf's attempts to get into the game. And his transition into carriers was, what can you do? You can't stop it. It was scouted, it was seen, and Harstem was just too good, in too good a spot. And he now goes up 1-0 in the series, looking for just 1 more map.
Yeah, that's all he needs. So I think because of with like all this stuff, I don't want to get too much into it because I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure if Mana drops a map at this point, even if he wins the series, Harstem would advance. Okay. But once again, to make absolutely sure you want to be the one in control of your destiny, you want to be the one who is deciding whether you make it through or not.
Yeah, definitely. And also $125 on top of everything else is pretty darn nice. So, we will be moving into 2K Atmos, a map we have seen plenty of throughout this tournament in the next couple of moments. We are just trying to make sure everyone is ready.
By the way, update from the other stream, from the C stream, Mana is up 1-0 over Art. So, still pressure on Harstem to make this happen.
Yeah, definitely. Mana, we did expect kind of a 2-0 from Mana, I think it's fair to say. Art has not had the best event. He did take 1 series against, was it SortOf? I believe it probably was SortOf, now that I recall it. Yeah, 2-0 against SortOf, with funky builds, some 2-base carrier stuff. But Art is playing from Korea, and Mana is a player who loves to test your micro on even ping, let alone with an advantage. So we will be going into our map 2. We are just sorting out our lobby. I see a countdown. Steadfast. This could be our last map of EU until autumn.
Yeah, it absolutely could.
Although autumn is in July, apparently.
You're gonna make me, tear up here. I love those autumn evenings on like August 11th.
My favorite day. Oh my God, I've just found out it's gonna be 24 degrees here tomorrow. Jesus. Oh, but I'm not working, so I can go outside. That would be nice. Get my tan on. Take my shirt off for the ladies. Anyway, we move into our second map. That's a thought no one wants to have. It is 2K Atmos. We have now loaded in, and I'm going to find the camera of a very talented observer because I'm crap at it. Our first player in the bottom left representing Archangel Gaming. He is the red Zerg player from Sweden. It is Rickard SortOf Bergman.
And his opponent, spawning up in the top right, he is the captain. With his flaming lips and his flaming sword, he looks to secure a berth into the playoffs for the first time ever. Give it up for Team Liquid's Harstem. Let's get some 07s in the chat.
I am saluting literally right now, and I'm not even on camera. That's how good that intro was. Okay, Gateway coming down here. Here on 2K Atmos, it is a map that is showing itself to be relatively well balanced. I think that's fair to say. Steadfast. Harstem going to be one of those annoying processes that forces our Zerg player to take his third base as his natural. But right now, everything is very normal. Neither player's doing anything funky. And we just have to wait to see where these builds pan out. I do think Stargate, though, is just such a solid option. Harstem's so good at it.
Oh, nice little move right there from Harstem right there. Blocking. He's actually blocking his gas for a fair bit of time. Yeah, this is a great Stargate map because of this dead airspace. There's so many positions where you can set up and be such a just pain in the tuchus, as a 7-year-old might say.
Yeah, somebody American. I've never heard that before. I have, but only on, like, radio shows from the 1950s. Like, it's a pain in the tuchus, see? Like, we don't have that meh here. My housemate would say that. She's from Texas. So, tuchus. It means bottom, right? Like backside.
Yeah.
Okay. I had to even check. I didn't know. Okay. What's going on here? Everything is pretty normal. It was Nexus before Cybernetics Tour from our Protoss player. Harstem's being so annoying.
He's being such a dick.
Yeah. Just, this is cool, though. Like, if you can get in the head, if you can wind your opponent up, get his blood boiling, he's more likely to make a mistake. He's more likely to be like, I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him good. And then he just throws all his stuff into force fields and dies. Or a disruptor or something. Tech choice-wise, we haven't seen anything go down yet, but Warp Gate is being delayed here, so I do anticipate, boom, Stargate coming down for Harstem.
Yeah, just like that. And yeah, I'm pretty sure just to... Oh, look at this Zealot being started here. Is that...
JK.
Okay, yeah, he faked the second unit because he didn't have the money for the Adept, I guess?
Yeah.
Or was that a misclick?
I don't think it would be a misclick.
I think that was on purpose. Harstem would... That's the kind of thing. He has... So back when the meta was the Marjorie build, that 32 probe stuff.
Oh, I'm very aware.
He would do the start the probe at the natural and then cancel it before it finishes to show, because that was one of the identifiers was you could see the Nexus glowing or not at the natural, and Harstem would use that trick, and I was like, oh,
so let's tell a story about the Marjorie build. When that build was meta, I genuinely thought for a small amount of time early on in its lifespan it was unbeatable, to the point of it happened during a home story cup, and I happened to be sitting in the basement with this guy people have heard. I think his name is Cyril, something like that, and I told him I would beat him with the Marjorie build, and then he 12-pulled me and then I lost. I was like, you can't beat this build, Cyril. He's like, yes, I can beat it. And I'm like, I would beat you with the build, Cyril. Like, you know, I'd had a few drinks and then I didn't win. Okay.
He's okay.
He's okay. I make 12.
Okay. That sounds more like Night End, what I was doing right there.
Oh, dude.
I am
absolutely.
Protoss player from Romania. My name is
I can't roll my R's like that, but yeah. That was good. Ooh, Glaive Adepts coming in from Harstem.
Yeah. Third gate, too. No robo, just... So this is a build that for a little while got kind of popular. It's 3-gate Glaive Adept into Quick Third Nexus. And there's been a little bit of a twist on it. And I hope it happens now because it's going to make me look so smart. But what I think we might see is 2 additional Stargates and a Fleet Beacon for Fluxbane Void Rays after doing a little bit of harassment.
Ooh, that would be very cool. I like to see Harstem just mixing it up a little, and it's very difficult with this Void Ray opening to scout. Now, the Roach Warrant is coming down from SortOf. He is going to have some of the tools needed to defend his lair starting up as well. Not a bad time by any means. Third Nexus coming down for Nexus. This is, you know, not the most aggressive. You know, Harstem doesn't have to kill him here. Hiccup, he'll be looking to get a little bit of damage for sure. But anything he can get is kind of gravy behind this third.
Yeah, definitely. And there we go. More Adepts warping on in here. This is actually quite a bit. 11 Adepts with that Resonating Glaives. And a nice kill on that Zergling. No scout for SortOf. He's basically going to see this. Oh, I love this. Ooh, okay. Well, this is actually really good for SortOf. He's going to find these 2 Adepts. Harstem was going to split off for a nice little double-pronged attack, so 2 Adepts into the third and the rest into the natural, but he will still have this main attack, and it does go unscouted. SortOf is building roaches here, so maybe he spotted something, but this is going to be really tough to deal with. Will be forged in a robo, so Steadfast doesn't know what he's talking about.
No, it's okay. Now, do you see these Adepts getting in? They're going to get a couple of workers, certainly. The Roach is creating a nice sort of makeshift wall here. They're actually, these sneaky, slippery Adepts have been able to sneak through. 6 workers already isn't bad to get this started. If there's a few more that go down, and there will be, as these 2 guys alone finding a lot here. This is so many dead workers.
It is actually a ton of damage right here. 12 drones going down. Where did the other adepts? Oh, they actually shaded all the way out. Great move from Harstem right there. He split the adept shades and keeps the threat alive with these 4 adepts. That is actually really, really critical because right now he is in a little bit of vulnerability with his robotics bay. It is on the way. He doesn't have a huge gateway count. His +1's on the way. He's down an army supply, but also important to note, he does not have a warp prism, so he has to keep these units on the other side of the map.
Yeah.
So really good moves. Shades back in with 2 more, grabbing 4 drones.
16 have died in total so far, Steadfast. That's a lot. And also, look at all this lost mining time. This is literally hundreds of minerals going to waste right now because these drones are just losing that time. Harstem with a phenomenal start to this game. And as you said, that's allowed him to successfully make his tech switch into Robotics Bay. That is now done. First Disruptor, I'm sure, will start up as I am speaking. And, oh, God, I love it when things work out. +1 is close to finishing. Blink is close to finishing, or close there to finishing. More gateways coming in, static defense coming in. Now, SortOf still has a pretty okay army, but look, these adepts again.
Oh, so good from Harstem right here. And not only is this getting a little bit of damage, keeping tabs on what's going on, it's going to get the scout on the infestation pit. That is so big. He's going to see that it will, in fact, be swarm hosts here.
Yep. And
this is...
Harstem going to stick on Disruptors for now. I wouldn't be surprised maybe to see some Colossi come out as an answer to this, but the main thing is this army is very easy to punish with maneuverability. Swarm hosts, of course, they're kind of all or nothing. They're like an arms warrior in World of Warcraft. They use all of their stuff and then they do nothing for 30 seconds. And it's if you can handle it, if you can handle all of the stuff section, you're in a pretty good spot. Now we see those first swarm hosts. We'll see those first waves of locusts coming out, and all Harstem has to do is kind of kite it out a little bit and waste as much time on these locust lifespan as they can. Their DPS is immense, absolutely unbelievable. But he's done a good job so far of wasting a wave.
Yeah, that's like half the wave that just did nothing. Ooh, Void Ray will get spotted, but nice pullback right there. Oh, Harstem, no, he didn't lose anything right there.
Not even close, baby.
Hey, baby.
Hey, baby. Okay, Harstem has a lot of stalkers on the field right now. We do see, of course, these swarm hosts offer threats across a very wide range. Oh my god, though, if they get pounced on, and even the Void Ray catching on top of them here is nice. These queens go down early as we transfuse energy gone. And what do they do against this Void Ray? There's no queens to come and back them up. This Void Ray can literally kill every one of them.
Yeah, that was such a huge move, killing those queens right there. And oh, look at the force fields here, delaying these locusts. And now this locust set, it may... Oh, sort of. Okay, even losing a second right there is not ideal. And he will actually pick off a good number of probes. Oh, and a shield better. Wow, he gets 4 probes. And man, locusts are really good when they get to connect their damage.
The problem is the when, and right now, there's not a lot at home here for SortOf. His army is very, very Ling heavy as well. He's only got 20 Lings, 10 Roaches, 14 Ravagers is pretty good, but there's so many Stalkers here with +1, and there's no upgrade yet for our Zerg player. If Harstem can pounce, if he can hit those force fields, Harstem will be able to take a pretty good... He's forcing defensive Swarm Host play, which is so poopy for Swarm Host. Oh my god!
Oh. The flanking Disruptor catching even the Observer off guard and getting such a huge shot on those Ravagers. We do see a couple of sentries do go down, 1 or 2, but not even close to the amount of losses that SortOf just suffered. And we're going to see another Disruptor come in. MK, eat your heart out. Harstem is looking to qualify off the back of this big blink coming in. He is going to get on top of these very, very soft underbelly Ravagers. Does avoid the corrosive vials. Nice job. Another corrosive. GG.